There you go.
Right on, my friend. That was totally awesome and dirty the way I like it. So now our next storyteller is actually a totally awesome old school friend of mine who I think we just talked about how long ago I met him, which is I think about 13 years ago, prior to his transition. And so when I see him today, Ian Harvie, it blows my mind because I remember seeing him the other way, and I see him today, and I'm like, that's the guy. That's the guy that is there, and I see how happy he is. And his career as a trans man comedian, I think he's actually the first trans man comedian in the world, and just how he just blossomed in his career, and he was on Transparent, and he just keeps going. And he's a strong person for our community, and an amazing speaker, and an amazing person, and a dear friend of mine, and Ian Harvie.
Wow, that was a really nice intro. Thanks, Buck. Thank you all for squealing for that. Hi, Dixie. It's been a while, huh? How you doing, girl? I'm so happy to be here. You know what? I don't have any dirty sex stories. I have lots of dirty sex stories. I'm just not. I actually am gonna. So yeah, I'm trans as well. I'm a dude with a vagina, very proud dude with a vagina. I don't give a shit. I know some guys aren't into talking about that shit. I'll talk about it. I'm not over dinner with pass the ketchup, I have a vagina, not that guy. But I will I'll tell anybody, I don't give a shit. I'm proud. So I met Buck 13 years ago at a porn convention in Florida, and I had not transitioned. I knew who I was, but I hadn't made any sort of physical transformation, and I was in that process of wondering if I could just be the best butch that I could be. I watched too much L Word. I was like, can I be the best butch that I could possibly be, or am I going to go for this? And I went for it, and I can't tell you, people all the time, they're like, I love it when people are always, so we were just talking about this, Lady J and I were talking about this earlier, about how, you know what people, if you're trans, and some people come up to you and they're like, I just wouldn't have even known. There's probably a lot of other shit you wouldn't know either, but it's like those fucking numbskulls, I didn't do it to look like this. I did it to feel fucking better in my skin. So that's... But this is what came out of it. And for the very first time in 46 years, I fucking feel beautiful for the first time ever. Without the compliments of others. And that's a first for me. I used to, people would say nice things to me and it never resonated with me. And even though, I understood what they were saying, but now I feel it myself without the compliments of others. You don't have to clap again at that. Just hold on. You guys are really nice. You're clapping a lot. Shut up. I'm kidding. I don't really mean that. But anyway, so I went through the change, as they say. Went through the change. Here's what, and I love shows like this, because you guys are already so smart. Most shows I do, they just fucking scratch their head. They're like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck. Do you have a dick? I don't understand you. Do you have a dick? Come on, do you have a dick? And I'm like, yes, it's just not on me right now. It's back at the house. I'm a lazy fucking packer. Nothing. Got nothing going on. So yeah, I like that you guys are smart and I don't have to explain everything to you. Cisgender folks, explain shit to you. So anyway, so I went through this sort of physical, emotional, mental metamorphosis, and it's been fucking great. I am grateful for every part, even the hard part. I love every fucking part of the process. I know that a lot of people don't feel that way, the struggles, like the times when I was like, when will I ever have my chest surgery? I will never save the money for that. Which, by the way, I went up to San Francisco. I gotta tell you just the brief part of this. Okay, so I had triple Ds, okay? I had some big old girls. I had some big old titties. And when Buck met me, I think he probably needed 2 arms to fucking get around me to... They were just big girls. And I went up to San Francisco and I got chest surgery. The best day of my life, March 7th, 7 years ago. And it was incredible. But the week before my surgery, I started to get nervous. Not about the surgery, because I knew what I wanted, but because, basically, they were big. And I don't know if you're a large-chested person out there. If you ever want to know what that shit weighs, there's no scale for that sort of thing. So I went to the Whole Foods and... And I slung one of the girls up into the scale. And I was like, nothing to see here, nothing to see. Move along, move along. And it turns out I've been carrying around an Olsen twin on my chest. So anyway, I have the surgery, and about a month after my surgery, I realized something. This was probably the most profound thing for me. The thing I realized was that every day of my life up until 7 years ago on March 7th, that I had to think about every day how I was going to conceal my chest. Every fucking day. And a month after, it fucking dawned on me when I leaned over and they didn't fall into my face. I leaned over to pick up something, it didn't fall into my face, and I was like, oh shit. I have so much free brain space now. I never have to fucking think about this shit again, ever. That was the most remarkable day of my life. Freedom of headspace was the biggest gift for me out of this process. So my parents are amazing. Everybody's amazing. I don't have that story. I feel fucking horrific. If you have that story, come up. I'll give you a bear hug after the show. I will give you right over here. I'll give you a fucking bear hug. If you have that story with your parents, you're queer, you're alternative, you're poly, you're whatever, and your parents are like, fuck that, I can't deal with you, come over, I'll fucking give you a bear hug. But I have to say, my parents are amazing. And here's something I realized that I have a 98-year-old grandmother who we all, at some point, forgot to fucking tell. I'm not even kidding. That's fucking real shit. We forgot to tell her. And what's really funny is that my mom still calls me by my birth name. I don't get upset. I know everybody gets weird about that. I don't give a shit. My mother, she looks fucking nuts. When we're out in public and she's like, Janet, come here. And I'm like, yeah? Yeah, Mom? What's up? So she looks fucking nuts. Doesn't bother me in the least. I'm like, Mom, if you keep talking like that, they're going to have to put you in a home. So just, it's fine. It's like, what, in a relationship style, I am still my mother's daughter. It's just a relationship style. We know how to, go for the jugular with each other. You know what I'm saying? If you have a mother-daughter relationship, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know exactly how to hurt each other. Or gay men and mothers. They totally know the same sort of dynamic. And so anyway, it doesn't bother me. She's not doing it with malice. She's doing it with love and forgetfulness. And, she says Janet and he and Ian and she all in the fucking same sentence. She's fucking whack. She's totally whacked. This is last summer when we were filming Transparent. I went home. I was there for 2 weeks for a comedy festival, and I fell asleep. I had this long, gnarly beard, and I fell asleep in the recliner. And my grandmother was sitting on the couch, and I woke up, and she was just staring at me. And I was like, what the... And she looks over at my mom. She goes, who's that? We've never had the conversation. My mom goes, that's Janet! And I'm sure, now let me just add something to this, okay? My grandmother has Alzheimer's. My grandmother has Alzheimer's, and so I'm sure she was like, I'm not the fucking crazy one here. That is not Janet. I'm fucking going home now? I don't need to live here. Can someone please give me my car keys back? Shit. My poor grandmother. I don't know. I don't know where to go with this now. But just that I don't know. My grandmother, she's, so my mother this trip, I was just there 2 days ago, and the night before I left, my mother said to me, she said, you know, I really think you should tell Nanny who you are. And I'm like, okay, all right. And so now, here's what my grandmother thinks. My grandmother thinks that my current girlfriend, whose name is Sarah, who has beautiful brown eyes, who was actually described very much to a T. I kept looking at my girlfriend over there when he was talking about Sarah and the lube, and I was like, "What, you give lube? What are you doing?" But now my grandmother thinks that my girlfriend Sarah is Janet and that I am her boyfriend Ian. The beauty of Alzheimer's and dementia and memory loss is really amazing. And so my grandmother... My grandmother asked my mother how Ian and Janet met. I said, in a surgical suite in San Francisco. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. Thanks.